So, ladies and gents, our guests have arrived. Please give a warm welcome to Jemma Redgrave.
Where has she gone? There she is.
You can take them with that one, or...
Very good.
Welcome to Leicester Space Centre.
Thank you very much. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. Thank you very much.
How are you finding it?
Oh, it's an incredible place, isn't it? Never been there.
Did you know it existed?
I did know it existed,
Okay.
but that's all I knew.
Right, okay. Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to have a walk around later and see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So we're here to talk about you. And
Oh, can we talk about you?
no, it's not as nearly as interesting, I can assure you.
Not so sure. Anyway, let's have a go.
And then we'll throw it out to you guys. All right. So what I would like to do, if I may, is take it all the way back to the beginning and ask, when was the moment? What made you decide that this was the career that you wanted to take? What was your inspiration?
Oh, the RSC. Yeah. I think it was the Roman season at the RSC in Stratford, and I went to see all the plays. I think I saw maybe one there, and then a couple at the Aldwych when they came to London, and that was it. I was hooked, and I think I met Janet Sussman after Antony and Cleopatra, and she let me put on her headdress, and well, the clothes in Doctor Who are fairly similar, so there's a direct line, I think, from there to there. Maybe not. You get to they get to time travel. So yeah, so that was it. Yeah.
And stage has been a major love for you, hasn't it? You've done a fair amount of stage.
I've done a bit, yes.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Which do you prefer, the stage or the film and TV?
I both, I think. When I'm increasingly no, both, definitely. But I think it's once you get over the nerves of the first two performances, that's what I mean. Increasingly, it's quite that's quite they can be quite a hurdle to get over. But once you're over that and up and running, then I love the stage and the thing of getting to do it again every night, and the audience and the way it changes every night. You never know quite what's going to happen.
And do you find that with your characters on stage, you have more time to develop them because you have more rehearsal time? Because in TV and film you have very little rehearsal time.
You don't get any really anymore.
No.
Yes, I think the luxury that's the quid pro quo part of it, is that you get the luxury of 4 or 5 weeks. Well, 4. Actually, a long time since 5 weeks. But 4 weeks rehearsal, and you get to really investigate and mine a character in a way that you often don't have the time with telly, because you're offered the part so close to going in and filming it that the time is limited. But and once you get on set. But in a series, when you get to know the character and you get to know the people you're working with, it can be a bit like the old-fashioned rep system. I think I've said this before, so sorry if I'm boring you, but or if I'm on repeat. But it's when you work with a company on a series, you get to know them, and you get to work very quickly and deftly with people in a very short space of time, and I enjoy that.
That's great. So when you're working on a TV show, obviously with Branwell, Holby City, and Doctor Who, obviously Doctor Who, yes. How much of you do you get to put into the character, or is it all down to the direction of the director to develop that character for you?
Well, it is me, so that's unavoidable. So the director's stuck with that. No, it's a collaborative process, hopefully, with the director and their vision for the script that they're working on, and what you bring to the set, and what you bring to that director. And when you work well together, it's absolutely a collaboration. But in the end, it's the director's vision on television. That's why stage is so satisfying in a way, because once you're on, you're in control. And with television and film, it's the director cuts it, and that's where the big decisions are made in the editing suite.
So I'm gonna continue on with Doctor Who, because that's obviously what you're here to talk about.
Yes.
If that's all right. The
Cool.
Lethbridge-Stewart legacy.
Yes.
When you took on the role,
Yes.
which I believe was Power of Three, was your first one with Matt Smith.
Yes, Chris Chibnall wrote it.
Did he really?
My first episode.
There you go.
So, come on, Chris.
Did you realise the legacy you were continuing?
No, I didn't. But the Doctor Who magazine came to the set and we chatted, and I became very quickly aware of the legacy. And I was a huge fan of the series before I went into it, and I knew the Brigadier well from my childhood, and so it was a huge. It was a huge honour, really, to be to have that baton handed down to me. Yeah.
I think a few of the folk in here will have said they've met Nicholas Courtney over the years. I used to know Nicholas Courtney quite well as well, and I think he'd be happy with the person that's continuing the legacy.
Thank you very
Certainly
much.
from my perspective.
I hope so too.
When the 50th came round,
Yes.
did you have any idea that you were going to be playing such a pivotal role within the 50th anniversary, which is going to be remembered for the rest of Who time now?
I know, isn't it lovely? And I'll be that age forever in some people's imaginations, and that makes me very happy. I didn't. I had no idea that Kate would be so pivotal in it, and that I would that I would be part of filming. I mean, it was 5 weeks filming. I think it was a long shoot because it was 2 cameras. They filmed it 3D, which takes a bit of time, and so we really got to talk about it, and we did get to work on it a bit because of the time between setups, and it was thrilling. Leicester, it wasn't Leicester Square. It was Trafalgar Square. Was an unforgettable experience in the pouring rain and with huge wind machines. But watching Matt come down on a crane, wow, that was, yeah.
Am I right in thinking you couldn't close off the whole of Trafalgar Square, right? You could only close off that section that the TARDIS was being landed into
Yeah, and the crowd kept moving.
Yeah.
And I was within minutes of starting filming, there was somebody there with a TARDIS phone case, and then somebody with the scarf, the multicoloured scarf, Tom Baker Stark scarf, and then that was it. It was us and Whovians. It was great.
So you had the opportunity to work with both Matt and Peter.
Yes.
Difficult, easy to work with, the two of them? Or preference at all between the two?
No preference at all. I mean, different, of course. And there's a qualitative difference in the way that Kate Stewart interacts with a Doctor who's younger than her and a Doctor who's older than her. That's just not, I don't mean it's just a different sort of, the quality of the relationship is slightly different, but it's not the quality of it, but it's just a sort of slightly, it's an accent thing really, I suppose. And because they are different, oh, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant, so inventive, such detail and in such a short space of time. I mean, it's quite wonderful working on. It's an inspiration. Yeah.
Right, well, we're going to throw the questions out to the audience just now. So if you've got any questions, please put your hands up. In fact, you got your hand up first, so you can go first.
I don't know about anybody else, but I just want to say thank you for actually doing your reschedule and coming.
Oh, thank you. That's good.
Okay, anybody else?
The Daleks. Just without doubt, the Daleks. It's I always say it. I'd like to think of a different one, but it wouldn't be true, so I'll say it. I think it's the hysteria. It gets inside you, doesn't it? That sort of it's the voices. They're just horrifying, and then they flew. And the nightmares really started. Hello. Yes. John Pertwee, because I loved him.
Sean Pertwee looks a lot like his dad these days.
Yes, he does, doesn't he?
What was John Hurt like to work with?
Oh gosh, well, John.
The late great John.
The late great John. That was rather that I found that in every way a magical experience working with John. He was an old friend of my parents, and I hadn't seen him for many years, and there was something, and it was just lovely. He really took his time. I loved that about him. He took you right in, didn't he? The war doctor, and you felt the weight of those horrifying experiences, and you really felt his humanity. And I thought it was quite extraordinary what he did. Yeah.
And he'd be greatly missed as well,
Oh,
unfortunately.
I know.
Right, who's next? Straight in the back.
Oh, are you the master? Oh, hell. Hello.
My question is, the master or Missy?
Oh.
I don't know, the master asked me the question. I feel like we're getting to a spot of bother over this one.
Missy's closer.
Oh, hell. I'm trying to stop the swearing, so yeah. Hello. Hello. Who would the master or Missy, as in my favourite, or as in the one I'd rather not go up against, or? My favourite is I can't really have a favourite, but I don't want to go up against Missy. I think there's something. It's just she's quite psychotic, isn't she? I think they're both fabulous. Michelle Gomez is extraordinary. She's a life force. She's a force of nature, really. Quite wonderful. Yeah, is that good enough? Okay, good. Hello. Cybermen and Zygons. I was a Zygon, so I am on repeat, so I'm telling the same old stories, but it was brilliant watching my kids watch me turn into a monster on the night of the 50th anniversary. You know, it was in the cinemas, and we went together, and they had absolutely no idea, and they weren't surprised. And the Cybermen. The plane crash. That's one of my recurring nightmares. So I'd say the Cybermen were the most frightening. Yeah. Hello. Over.
We'll work our way around. Just a minute.
Hello. I just wanted to talk about anything with your Big Finish and the audio adventures, what your experiences are like.
Oh, they're great. We've got a lovely company, and we meet up, and hopefully there'll be more. But we meet up maybe twice a year, and we get to go on these incredible adventures. And they write such cracking stories, and they're sort of more in keeping with the classic Who, I think. and it's a lovely thing. It's like we're a little band of brothers, and we meet up, and they do cook a lovely lunch. Big Finish, and the way to any actor's heart is through their stomach. It used to be a thing, you know, for rep companies. Actors, impoverished actors would come. They'd love it if there was a supper scene in the script or a buffet. Is it practical food? They'd say. So yes. So I enjoy I really enjoy the Big Finish audios. They've been really it's an amazing thing, Doctor Who. The way it's sort of it's a sort of gift, and it keeps revealing new sides to itself. You know, it's been they've been great. Hello. Oh, hello.
Sorry, I was just going to follow that.
I keep trying. This man to my right is.
You're next. I was just going to ask, do you find that you're able to develop the character, have more flexibility with the character through an audio story than you do on screen, because you don't have the constraints of a camera?
No.
Okay. Right. Turn right over there.
Hello.
On a similar theme,
Yes.
please ask your Auntie Vanessa to come to Big Finish and play Stewart's mum.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the master. I think. Anyway, yes. I'm sure she'd. I'm sure she'd like to play a Doctor Who villain. Okay. I will. Yes. Okay.
When you were offered the role of Kate, how much research did you put into her, or did you go in with like a whole new, your own idea?
It was all there in the script. It was such a cracking. It was a wonderful script. She was so wry and witty and powerful, and I got everything I needed on the page. I thought Chris Chibnall wrote a complete and complex and brilliant woman, and so that was all there for me. And then she reveals herself. There are sides and facets to her that are revealed as her story progresses in the series. But no, it was all there in the script. Yeah.
How do you feel about Chris taking over Doctor?
Oh, I think it's great. He's a wonderful, wonderful writer.
And thoughts on Jodie?
Well, it's been a long time coming, I think, and I'm just delighted, and I'm delighted that it's her. She's a fantastic actress, and she's going to be a very exciting Who. Doctor, hello. Hi.
You talked just a little bit about working on the big finish.
Yes.
And bearing in mind that we're talking about legacies, I was wondering how you think the biggest way Doctor Who has changed your life?
It turns out I'm part of a community, and it's a very warm and supportive and kind and generous community, and I think that community enriches all of us, no matter where we find our communities, whether they're local or whether they're whether they're through the internet or wherever they are, and it's an honour to be part of this one.
Any more? Over there.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
If you weren't Kate Stewart, who would you rather choose to have a go at playing?
I would like to be a companion. I mean, obviously the Doctor, that goes without saying, but given that the Doctor's taken, and I can't be a companion, but anyway, I would like to. I quite like to travel. I'd like to. I'd like to go on one of those. I'd like to go on a big adventure. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hello. Hopefully we will see Kate again at some point. But if she did come back, would you like to see her come back in maybe 1 or 2 stories like she was, or maybe a slightly longer run in a theme of a story over 4, 5 or 6 story episodes?
Well, to be completely honest, it would be however, if they decide to bring me back, I will feel myself to be mighty lucky, and to be another part of the next incarnation, and I don't mind. I wouldn't really mind, but if it meant getting to travel a bit, you know, I'd like that. I really, just to be part of it is great. 1 episode is lovely. 2 is even nicer. Yeah.
As times are changing, Doctor Who's changing quite dramatically with it. It's becoming more diverse.
Yes.
What direction would you like to potentially see it go?
I think I think the direction it's going in is just the right direction. Yeah. Cool. I have no idea.
Any more?
Yeah. No, there's one over there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
The transformation. The practicalities were the filming without makeup, filming with the beginnings of and the filming with some of the makeup were rather prosthetics. I had prosthetics and orange jelly. I filmed with jelly and.
Is that what you're spitting out?
Yes. Yeah, dribbling jelly.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, and that, yeah, and it took a bit of time, but it was fun. We did the set photo that day. I can't remember. No, I don't think I had the prosthetics on me when we filmed when we did the set photo. But it was, yes, it was sticky and it was mucky, and it was great.
Going on from mechanics of scenes, was it you they threw out of the aeroplane, or was it a stunt double?
It was me. Yeah. I think it was me, possibly, and a stunt double, but yes, no, I was yanked from round the middle with a bungee, and there was a crash mat, and it was a bit. I hobbled for a couple of days, and there was a brilliant stuntman who talked me through it, and I'd done a tiny bit of fight stuff at drama school, but I was doing a bit more dancing. But it was good, yeah.
You work alongside another scientist, Ingrid Oliver, who plays Osgood.
Yes.
How did you know her before?
No, I didn't. No, I met her on the 50th anniversary.
That's the first time you worked together, because the relationship you two seem to have seems to be like you've been friends for years.
Oh, well, we're brilliant actors.
Any stories to tell about you two? Is there any jokes on set?
No. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Oh.
Hello.
On the audio you mentioned that you and Ingrid were talking, and I was wondering who remembers what.
I can't remember what I was laughing about yesterday. He is She's quite good at the old comedy. So it's there's quite a lot of corpsing working with Ingrid. It makes it a very difficult experience. Yeah.
Have you got any more Big Finish lined up coming up at all?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Do you think there might be some more scope for Kate?
I don't think they've run out of ideas yet.
Anybody else?
Do you have any particularly funny stories on set?
Oh gosh. I'll think of one, and it'll be in the middle of the night. And I'll say, yes, oh, you've gone. Which is a good thing, because if you were all in my bedroom, that would be weird. So, no, I can't think of one at the moment. I do remember. It's not that funny, but Sanjeev Bhaskar, who is very funny, who was in the one who got chucked out of the plane. Do you remember the name of that episode? Anyway,
Death in
it was
Heaven,
the Cyberman. Yes, Death in Heaven. That's right, the plane crash episode. He got a thing about the Cybermen. He said they sounded like an old Jewish couple from the Bronx. Hey, I'm Gloria, and this is my husband, Laurie Cyberman. That kept us going for a bit. The Silvermen stuck all over the outside of the aeroplane. Hey, Mr. Cyberman.
What do you find more challenging to do? You've done Bramwell, Hobby City, Doctor Who. What's the most challenging type of role you've taken on?
The most challenging type of role.
And what genre do you get the most enjoyment out of?
Well, the genre question really goes back to the first question. Well, one of the first questions, which is that I think I feel very comfortable working in film and theatre. I think, or rather not. I enjoy them both for very different reasons. I can't think of the most challenging thing. I think probably falling out of aeroplanes is pretty challenging. All of that sort of and making it believable, and and then the falling. We did all the falling through the sky with the camera underneath me and a massive wind machine, and my cheeks. Yeah.
So were you hanging from cables when?
No, I was on a sort of I was on a construction, so but hanging out over the end, and then the camera was down here, and then the wind machine was underneath the camera. Yeah, and a lot of screaming.
Sounds like my normal Saturday night. We won't go there. Any other questions at all?
You've said in the past that you love a baddie. If you weren't Kate Stewart, who would you want to play as a baddie in Doctor Who?
I'd like to be a Dalek.
Could be the new Davros.
I could be. Why not? Bring it on.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Gemma.
Hello.
So I'm trying to stop myself calling you Kate. Lovely to see you today. You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, when you said the line 5 rounds rapid,
Yes.
did you know sort of how big a line that is to like, the Doctor Who fans and obviously Nick Courtney?
Yes, Peter and I had a conversation about it just beforehand, and he had it. He showed me on his phone. He'd got the scene, and yeah. So I did know.
It's from Damon. It's one of like the best ever like Doctor Who stories. Isn't it?
Is it one of the
If you
best
haven't
ever?
seen it, if you've never seen it, you've got to see it. It's John Burton, like probably at his best.
I probably did when it first came out, but I haven't seen it since.
I was going to say, it was about like 1972 or something, or 71, something like that. So
Yeah, probably I did then. Yeah.
probably was about before.
Bless your heart for revealing my age. That's so sweet.
Security.
Never reveal, I want to say.
Anybody else? We've got time for a couple more questions. Sit lady down there.
I beg your pardon? I'm not sure at the moment because I think so, but there's a potential clash going on, so I'm trying to work things out. I did once. I did a tour of the States, and I absolutely loved it. I toured from started in Washington, San Francisco, Minnesota, New York. It was great, an incredible experience. Yeah, right across. Except not on a road trip, unfortunately. It was by plane, so I didn't get to see as much as I could have done otherwise.
Okay, we've got time for two more. So.
Just regarding the 50th, did you know Tom Baker was going to be here? When you watched it, was that a surprise to you, or was that just?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know until until pretty much the time. Hello.
You've been saying that you're really comfortable working with film and theatre.
Yes.
And you played so many diverse characters. I was just wondering what your process is. Which characters do you arrive at such a comfortable feeling?
It changes depending on it changes depending on the character, because some characters require research and practical research. Playing a surgeon, you need to spend a bit of time with people who work in that area, and then some you go into, and it's all in the text, and the work that you do comes from the script that you're given. But there's always a certain amount of reading round a character, and particularly historical characters. There's a lot of background that I try to do. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to start wrapping it up there, I'm afraid. But I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
You are now part of the longest running sci-fi TV series in the world. What's the most important thing that's come out of it for you?
It's always lovely to work. That's always feel grateful for the work, but it's been the loveliest thing is to be part of. It is to be part of the memory of the young people who watch it collectively as they're growing up, because I've never forgotten the characters that I grew up with and that filled my imagination and created worlds for me inside myself, and I think to be part of the sort of younger generations imagination, collective imagination, is something to make me feel quite good.
Perfect answer. Ladies and gents, please give a warm round of applause for Jemma Redgrave.
Thank you very much.
We will be back in 15 minutes with our next stage talk. It will be me and Dan.